Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 1739 of What You Up To Now. Documenting the journey as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business. I'm not going to go into all that today because I'm feeling under the weather and I don't want to strain my voice. So today, for our annual challenge, the BU 365-day challenge, day 301 today. I always feel awesome when we get into the 300s because I know there's less than 100 days left to go in the challenge. Actually, that means there's only 64 days left in the year, which is crazy to think of. It's amazing how fast it seems in the beginning of the year, January, New Year's resolutions and everything. Oh, we've got so much time ahead of us. And before we know it, if we don't do one thing every day, a little thing every day to move us forward, we're at the end of the year already, or we've got a month or two to go. And we start to panic because we're like, oh my God, I was going to do all these things this year and I haven't made any progress in them, which is why I love the annual challenge. So this year's annual challenge, BU 365-day challenge, to do one thing every day that improves us and moves us toward the things that we want. And if we've broken it down by each of the different areas and aspects of our life, the first 9 months of the year, I use a 9-part life framework that I learned a long time ago. 7 of those from Tony Robbins, through Jim Rohn, through all of their guru chains, I guess I call it. And I added confidence and communication last year because I think they're 2 foundational skills that I wanted to work on and got a coach in. So I wanted to continue to move forward and share what I learned in that group. So today we are talking about the P in progress, which is our SOAP framework. During the COVID pandemic, I was personally facing a ton of changes and challenges, as I can imagine you were as well. All of us, almost everybody on the planet, was impacted in some way, shape, or form, some good, some really, really bad ways. And again, good and bad is up to us to decide and determine ways that we hadn't anticipated before. So I identified the framework or the process that I personally use and have used for years to deal with changes and challenges. Because I've had, it's over 6 decades on the planet, I've had my fair share of opportunities to have the shit hit the fan in my life or to have things go wrong in my life. And so over the years and over a lot of trial and error, I came up with a process that worked for me, and it works for me and hundreds and thousands of other people every single time, right? It always works. So I thought, I'm going to formalize this process, make sure it's installed in my subconscious, and then teach other people how to do the same so that whatever comes up, I'm going to know how to deal with, and I'm going to handle it in the best way for me at that given moment. Now, if I go back and look at some of the things I've done and some of the decisions I made, were they the best? Looking back and reviewing them, probably not. But they absolutely were the best for me at the time, given the circumstances, given my level of knowledge and understanding and wisdom and awareness of what was going on around me. They were the best decision at the time. And a lot of that is because we change over time. At least I hope that you're changing over time. I guarantee I am changing over time, hopefully getting better, but sometimes we regress and we get a little worse, right? It just happens. But if we're consciously making an attempt to continually be improving and getting better, we absolutely positively will. Because guess what? We can create whatever we want in our lives. I know I didn't used to believe that. I guess I've always believed that, but sometimes the world beat me up and I lost faith in the world or myself for a while. But then it wasn't very long before I pulled myself up by my bootstraps and said, yeah, no, I can change this. What am I going to do? Instead of, miring in the pity party that we all get into once in a while, I just, very less and less time do I ever spend, feeling sorry for myself. Feel under the weather right now. So what? It'll be gone in a couple of days. I could complain and bitch and moan about it, or I can just keep moving forward. And during the pandemic, that was something I absolutely positively knew that for me personally, I needed to do. And I started doing 30+ day challenges every other month for 2020. And then 2021 felt just as bad as 2020 to most people. So I carried it through 2021. And then in 2022, I decided I would just do one big annual challenge instead of all the little, 30 days every other month. And I think it's been an interesting experiment. This isn't actually my first annual challenge. I've personally been doing annual challenges for about, over 12, 13 years. But in different areas and aspects of my life. But when I wanted to come online, when I wanted to be unafraid of doing videos and showing up live, I started to do daily videos. And this would probably be my 6th or 7th, not year in a row, but because I did a couple simultaneously when I first was getting started. I did a challenge, a daily live challenge with a group of other business people and other people that wanted to get comfortable doing lives. Every day we would go in a private group and we would do a live video, and it could be on whatever we wanted. And I think about 100 of us started, but I think 6 or 7 of us were the only ones that finished, which is about how everything goes in life, right? It's about 6 or 7% of the people that will actually follow through and take action on something, and the rest fall off for whatever reason, and it's usually good reasons, fall off, and it's not a priority for them right now. And I think we see this play out over and over and over again in life. That's why the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle, is so popular, because it describes pretty much everything in the world. You can find a way to apply the 80-20 rule to it. So we want to spend 80% of we want to get 80% of our results from 20% of our effort, etc. So today, our idiom for Supersize Your Business for Female Entrepreneurs was as slow as molasses in January. Now, I love this particular idiom. Number one, I like to cook, and I always liked cooking with molasses. Molasses cookies are one of my favorite. If it doesn't have caramel in it, I like molasses because it's kind of like brown, sugary, syrupy sweetness anyway. And my daughter actually made pomegranate molasses salmon last night, which was absolutely delicious. So it got me thinking that molasses was a good one. But as slow as molasses in January, I've grown up with that idiom my entire life. I had a sister we used to call the pokey little puppy, and because she was really pokey, she did everything at her own speed, which was really slow and in her home time frame, which makes us laugh now because she's just the opposite nowadays. She's super fast-paced and energetic. So it's funny that she was such a pokey little puppy growing up. But as slow as molasses in January, they're not sure the origin of this particular idiom, but it was in the movie Gone with the Wind in 1941. Scarlett O'Hara's chiding her sister, not unlike my little sister, about being pokey and slow as molasses in January about something. I don't remember. I haven't seen the movie for decades. So we tied this to our business. What do we want to do? You know, most people, if you ask them, do you want to grow your business slowly or quickly? Everybody's going to go for speed, right? We want instant gratification. We want things right now. We want what we want, and we want it right now. That's human nature. So there's few things that we want to go slow for, but there are some things that we very much ought to go slow for and think through and make conscious decisions about. So we talked about that today. Anyway, under the weather, so if I can help you in any way, just ask. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow.